Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Game Over Vancouver. My name is Kaja. I'm here with Ash from Game Over Edmonton, and tonight what we are doing is recapping, discussing, reviewing the last 60 minutes, give or take, of Vancouver Canucks and Edmonton Oilers hockey. But before we get into that, just wanted to let you guys know, shift into hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your new source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Oot, Daphne Melbuff, and Kevin Laramie every Tuesday and Friday for your fill on the hockey world. Watch on YouTube on the Game Over Network channel or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. Head to our website, thegameovernetwork.com, for more. All right, so the Vancouver Canucks defeat the Edmonton Oilers 3-2. Ash, if you could describe the Oilers' effort in one word, what would it be?
Teen. This
2018.
Oilers team, over the past 10 games or so, it has been a very long road trip that has been very successful for them. But man, this team is just all Draisaitl, McDavid. It really is just our top line, our top unit, and waiting for them to come back onto the ice for any offensive opportunities. It's kind of disappointing to see 10 years into the McDavid Draisaitl experiment, we're still just biding time for that top line to come out. I think that, digging ourselves into really big holes and just, footing the other team 3 goals at the start, it's not the best way to play hockey, and it's kind of a troubling trend that we're starting to see on this Oilers team that is, albeit very tired from a very absurd 4-time zone road trip.
Yeah, that's not a kind of road stretch that you see often. We'll be getting into that coming into the game later on in the show, but yeah, 4 time zone stretch, that's like the entire continent of North America. So bit interesting to have to travel that. But yeah, like you said, the Canucks they score 3 just in the first period alone, which I was like, did they just get body swapped with the team from last year? Did I wake up from a bad dream where the Canucks really were that bad the first half of the season? Like, I genuinely had no idea what I was watching. And then, yeah, so Quinn Hughes, the first goal, thought it was Connor Garland's, ends up getting credited to Quinn Hughes as it goes off of Matthias Ekholm's skate, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the power play. Danton Heinen assisted from Tyler Myers and Phil DiGiuseppe. Even strength, gets the only even strength goal for the Canucks this evening. And then Quinn Hughes, again, gets a power play goal. JT Miller assists on both Quinn Hughes goals. The Rogers Arena was very invested in chanting Miller's name after he gets those assists. We'll talk about that story going in later. And then the second period rolls around. The Canucks have less of the bite that they had in the first, I'd say, but they still kept some pressure on for the Oilers. But the Oilers were starting to battle back, especially Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, what a season from Leon Draisaitl, front runner in my opinion. And on that first goal, it's McDavid just kind of breaks Tyler Myers' ankles, and Dry's able to put in the rebound from just the sharpest of angles. Draisaitl continues to be able to put shots in from even wider and wider angles on goalies. And in for the second Oilers goal on the power play, Nuge makes a really good active play on the power play. You haven't really been seeing a lot of that from him this year, which is good to see. And And Draisaitl gets his second of the game. 33 goals, leads the league. He's having a wonderful year.
Yeah, when they said they were talking about like, oh yeah, it's Draisaitl's 32nd goal, and I didn't clock initially that that meant for the year because I don't think a Canuck has hit 20 yet on the season. So I was literally just getting dinner and like he scores and then that happens and I'm like 32nd just in 1 year. That's insane. That's insane. But we're here. Um, we still exist. Canucks end up winning the game, but at the end of the second, there was an interesting moment in the dying seconds of that period where did you see the exact frame of Connor McDavid high sticking Philip Hronek?
Yeah, I did. I did. He gets him right in the throat. He definitely absolutely gets away with one there. Um, right after getting away with one, in Minnesota, and that will be very relevant for a very interesting third period. But yeah, he definitely for probably like the ultimate like all time like drawer of penalties. He definitely has over the past few games. Um kind of shown a little bit of frustration. Even with the Oilers, winning all these games, it really is kind of like all from that top line from like him and Draisaitl. And yeah, he is definitely taking some dirty plays. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting watch because I didn't see it. Like I just heard, oh, they missed the call and that's why fans are mad and I'm like, okay, well, a player will fall and fans will be mad at that. They forget that the game is played on ice. But no, I'm like, okay, what is that? And then it comes up on Instagram. There was a meme, I think from Nux Memes, not 100% sure. It was literally just like McDavid high sticking Hronek and the caption just says on guard. Like it was a sword play. It was
That's
absolute
pretty funny.
yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And I mean, the Oilers kind of had the short end of the stick going into the second because
hmm
both the penalties.
Um,
Sorry?
they had all the penalties in the. I was gonna say they had all the penalties in the first, and
Mm-hmm.
arguably on the second Quinn Hughes goal, Vancouver gets away with one, probably two in a sequence. Especially on like Nurse getting tripped right in front of the net. Um, I would argue that both that fans of both teams have absolutely nothing to be happy about when it comes to refereeing. Another Wes McCauley special. Um, I really dislike how the league refs its games, and you could see that in the first and in the second, with just missed calls going both ways. Really frustrating, definitely, and that's part of how we go into the third period. Towards the end there.
Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, maybe I was just turning a blind eye to the missed calls, to be honest, as a Canucks fan. But yeah, no, the Oilers' penalties were 3-2, um, with the, I guess, disadvantage for the Oilers. Heading into
Yeah.
the third, there's no goals scored. The Canucks had 27 shots overall in the game, which is outstanding. Like, on a Canucks performance, we usually expect more of what Edmonton put up tonight with 15. So,
Right,
there's that.
and with the Oilers are the number one shots for team in the league. We
Hmm.
usually expect the Oilers to get 30 and get absolutely goalied, but no, today the Oilers were very efficient with their shots, which is very rare. You never really see that from an Oilers team, um, and especially as they go down 3-0. A lot of the ways that they come back from in these situations is that they will just pepper goalies. They will put up 30, 40 shots in order to come back. But here, that wasn't really the case. They were playing very patient. They were slowing the game down. I thought in the third period, the Canucks did a very good job of slowing the game down. Um, against a consistent Oilers forecheck, they were constantly on the defense, but there weren't very many really good chances in that third period for the Oilers. And I think that's a very good showing of a Canucks team who's kind of been a little bit of disarray recently to see that kind of steady defensive performance against the Oilers in what could have been just another layer in this consistent like Canucks narrative that's been going on recently. Holding off the comeback with that is really impressive from my perspective as an Oilers fan.
Oh yeah, no, I was definitely like we went up 3-0 and I was like I was feeling it a bit, but at the same time, it's just it's also the Canucks. Like they have notoriously given up multi-goal leads throughout the season, and like you said, the Oilers have fought back. Like even recently against Colorado, they just did. They were down 3-0 and they came back to win it in regulation nonetheless.
Yep.
I Yeah, I was really impressed with the Canucks' defensive play, which is not something you can say often. If you told me before the game started that I was going to be praising their defense, I probably would have slapped myself in the face because that just sounds made up. When it comes to the Oilers, it always felt like it was you can't shut down the offensive side of their game. So you just try and get through their defense and goalies. Like I felt like that was always the storyline with them from an outsider's perspective. But then when it comes to tonight, it's like the Canucks finally got the um offensive uh high players, like Draisaitl, like McDavid, I was gonna say like Hyman, but he's hasn't scored 50 yet, so he's not in the good books yet. When it comes to all of that, yeah,
Yeah,
they
Zach in the chat says Elias Pettersson for the Selkie. I thought he made some amazing defensive plays, especially in that
he
third period
ooh,
where he drew that Ekholm cross check. Takes the puck away from Bouchard, takes the puck away from Ekholm. 2 seconds later, lays like two big hits there, and then immediately draws the penalty. That probably stifles the like a lot of Oilers' offense in the last 5 minutes of the game. What an effort, like that, like that's the kind of thing that you want to see from Elias Pettersson, especially considering all the storylines around Vancouver right now. It's exactly what you want to see.
yeah, no, it was definitely impressive. Like sometimes I saw one thing that was just like people always think that Patterson should be in like Art Ross or hard contention, where he really plays like he should be in Selkie contention, and everyone forgets about that. Like, I mean, I know Bergeron put up points, but like he wasn't the same type of player like the McDavid or like the Draisaitl that gets those trophies. I think that his defensive game has evolved so much that people discount him because he's not putting up as many points when his defensive game like he doesn't factor into the score sheet tonight. No assists, no goals, nothing. Um I like I understand people want him to score goals. He does have a great shot. He still does score goals. I just think with the evolution of his game, it not only adds because like the Canucks, sure they've struggled over the past two games. They've scored two goals um going into tonight in their last two games against their opponents 11. But when it comes to like the Canucks roster, Elias Pettersson isn't the only goal scorer on the roster, but he's one of the better defensive players, honestly better than some of the defensemen on defense. So yeah, he doesn't get enough credit. Elfrin says Montreal also went up 3-0 in the first period, only to get stood up seven straight Toronto goals in a 7-3 loss. That was also part of my fear because I'm like, oh, we're up 3-0, and then I check it's like seven straight after Montreal was up, and I was like, okay, let's chill that. Um, Yeah, that play, especially by Elias Pettersson, I just kind of had to sit back and was just like, no, that's like the PD we want to see. Like he may not get assists, he may not get like a goal in the game, even though the team still wins. But he's able to make those smart plays. And honestly, a player hitting an opposing player high on the ice, like away from their goal. I thought it was a Noah Juleson special. He was out tonight, a little bit banged up, but he's our defenseman who likes to hit people in the neutral zone, and then the puck goes the other way, and we usually get scored on. So yeah, Surrey legend Noah Juleson. Um, we're going to talk a bit more about the officiating and those final 3 seconds, it looks like, because there's a load of penalties from 1957 in the third period. Ash, do you have any other notes about the Oilers game for those? Give me a second. 59, 57. Yeah, 59 minutes and
Yeah.
57 seconds. That's the math. It took
Um,
a while.
I think, for the Oilers, I think Emberson had a good game. I thought that Janmark and Henrik had a terrible game. I thought that there's literally absolutely no reason Jeff Skinner should be scratched when these two are playing like they are. Henrik consistently giving away pucks, Janmark just getting caved every shift he's out on the ice. I really do think Jeff Skinner continually getting scratched. And the Oilers not doing anything to either look for a trade, which I'm sure they are, or anything like that. I don't know, man. I don't know what you got to. I know what you're gonna do with Jeff Skinner. On the other hand, this is the end of the Josh Brown experiment. Good job. Good couple games in the NHL. You were really bad today. You're gonna go back to the AHL, and Josh Klingberg's gonna come in for the next game for the Oilers. I don't know. I'm not very happy with the Oilers tonight. Outside of Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, Bouchard, Ekholm, just that top five. I thought the Oilers played a pretty bad game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a certified Oiler special that, showed them getting into the finals last year, but
Yeah,
yeah, when I heard Jeff Skinner was scratched, I
this third game in a row.
I keep picking him on Tim's picks. Can they just let him play, honestly?
They're not going to. They really
I
aren't.
I wanted him to be a Canuck so bad. Like I but that's just because I love his energy. His goal song was from High School Musical. Amazing.
Yeah.
Um, we're gonna get into, we will be talking trades in our third period segment, but before we get into our second period segment, looking for a way to help an upstart media company employing over 30 young journalists and analysts across Canada. If you have a few spare bucks kicking around, uh you should head to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thegameovernetwork. There you'll find multiple tiers featuring different rewards and goodies for helping us grow. There's extra access, exclusive behind the scenes, Discord benefits, merch discounts, opportunities to give us feedback, and you can join us for special shows live where you can interact with hosts as we launch more ways to improve your experience. If you're not able to spare a few dollars, we have a free tier available so you don't miss out. If you really want to help us, make sure to click like and subscribe on YouTube, rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast app, and share our work on your social media of choice. That's patreon.com/thegameovernetwork for tantalizing goodies. Alrighty, let's get into the second period. Now, I'm gonna start off this little segment just reading out the list of penalties that we had in the end of that third period. So basically the game's almost over. The Oilers, Skinner is pulled. The Oilers are trying to get that tying goal in the dying seconds, like hockey players are supposed to. And then um and then there's a bit of a wrestling match between Connor McDavid and Connor Garland,
A
which is
bit of a wrestling
a
match.
bit of a
Oh
wrestling
man.
match. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, why, how is Connor Garland jumping Connor McDavid? Like, he at least has 6
Yeah,
inches
isn't
on
he
him.
5'6" or something?
He's, uh, he's, he's listed actually at 5'10".
That there's no shot.
I,
I just don't believe that. I don't believe that
yeah.
he's fat. But regardless, 5'10" Connor Garland is bear hugging, tackling Connor McDavid to the ground, and Connor McDavid in retaliation gives him the Carson Soucy special right to the face. Man, you just can't do that. That's going to be 2 games for McDavid. It was 1 game in the playoff. It was 2 games for. It's going to be 2 for the regular season. McDavid kind of getting lucky in Minnesota. with a little bit of a chicken wing, there's no chance that he doesn't get at least one. Definitely, I think two. Um, Same with Tyler Myers. Tyler Myers is going to get two as
Oh
well
yeah.
for the exact same play on Evan Bouchard, just away, just for no reason. Exact same thing.
I
Um,
mean, yeah.
just really funny. Just
It's
really funny of
he
that one.
he his
I thought that's
nickname
really so funny.
his nickname is Chaos Giraffe. It fits.
Yep.
It fits. I saw that and I was just like, maybe he just saw Connor do that to Connor and thought, oh, this looks like fun. I guess we're doing this
Yep.
now, and decides. Anyway, Connor, yeah, McDavid and Garland fighting each other is like when me and my siblings would get into wrestling matches when we were kids.
No, literally,
Or
like
now.
that's exactly what it looked like. I mean, Garland had him in like the four-leg lock. It was crazy.
It was
But
so
this is
funny.
like on a more serious note. I mean, like from the perspective of like the league, like this is unacceptable.
Oh yeah.
Not from the players, but from Wes McCauley. Like, there's absolutely no shot that that you don't call a penalty on Connor Garland. Does Wes McCauley putting his hand up mean that Connor McDavid doesn't cross-check him in the face? No. Connor McDavid's still going to cross-check him in the face. But just like the fact that you wait until something like that happens, there's another example of the refs from the NHL letting games get out of control because refs don't want to interfere with the play when they have more than enough reason to. And now you have two people who are getting suspended for 2 games. Your best player in hockey is now gone for 2 games because he just cross-checked someone in the face. I don't know. I'm just really unhappy with how the refs consistently call games like this. Missed calls on Edmonton in the first, missed calls for Vancouver in the second, and you get just like this. It's a clown show. Like it's honestly embarrassing to watch something like that. Watch someone just tackle the best player in the league and absolutely nothing happen, and then you get something that's out of control like that. It really is like I don't know. I don't know. Makes me unhappy as a fan to see that's like how this game like happens. I mean, it's exciting, but it's like it's a fucking joke, dude.
Yeah.
It's a joke,
No, that's absolutely fair. I I honestly was kind of enjoying it because it was like, oh, there's drama, and then I saw the cross check and I was like,
right?
that's bad. Like I remember saying something about hockey on a dating profile 2 years ago, and this was right after the Winter Classic. I'm getting to the point here. In case anybody's questioning that, it was right after Matthews had the cross check that rode off of Rasmus Dahlin's shoulder and up into his face.
Yeah,
And he got suspended 2 games for that. And people were calling that, saying that was like attempted, what, decapitation. That's what the word I was looking for.
yeah.
Decapitation. Oh my gosh. Um I would say, yeah. The it was interesting, and then that happened, and then Myers, just for fun, does that too. It is kind of embarrassing. Like it's giving beer league at the same time.
No, it totally is, which is funny because they were show. I mean, it's not beer league, like it is still but it's funny they're showing like a local barn, for the hockey night in Canada. It definitely had the vibes of something like that from what ultimately did feel like a playoff game at a lot of points. Um,
Yeah.
Like the back and forth, the good chances, the good defensive game. Definitely a playoff game. And then I mean, it literally ended like a Canucks Oilers playoff game. What was it, game 5? Like game 4? Just exactly
The cross check to the face. I'm
exactly
pretty
what,
sure
right?
that was game 4. It was game 3 or
Yeah.
4. I don't remember, but it was. I'm pretty sure it was an away game. Um,
Hmm.
for the Canucks. But yeah, that was funny when they were like showing the retrospective, and I was in a group chat and we were talking, and I was like, oh yeah, well, it's kind of like what Susie did to McDavid last year. And then it goes, well, but Susie was trying to hit him in the chest. McDavid also just got hit from behind. It went down,
Yeah,
and
he got like
that was
sandwiched.
that was like Susie's was unintentional. He got one game in the playoffs. McDavid's was aiming for Connor Garland, unless he thought that Connor Garland was like average hockey player height. And
I mean, he
you know,
probably did. To be
I,
honest, Connor Garland's a really short guy, right? You want to
yeah,
cross check someone in the chest? It's like what they tell. It's like what they tell like minor league hockey players who are like really really tall. Like they always just get penalties because everything they do is head contact because they're like a foot taller than everybody else.
Matt Rempe. I mean, he does do head contact. Let's not get past that. Matt
Literally.
Rempe. Tyler Myers always gets that too. I'd say
Yep.
Zadorov, but also Zadorov just does that. So
Yeah.
there's that. Desharnais, another one. I wouldn't trust Wes McCauley to manage a Boston Pizza, much less an NHL game. Avery
Thank
with
you,
the
Avery.
T. Avery,
That's true.
yeah, on the money. I'm just gonna read out. Okay, 1957. This is all happens at the exact same time. Connor McDavid match penalty against Connor Garland. Tyler Myers slashing against Evan Bouchard. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins roughing against Derek Forbert. Zach Hyman roughing against JT Miller. Connor Garland roughing against Matthias Ekholm. Elias Pettersson roughing against Leon Draisaitl. Pettersson was literally standing there. Like, you watch the
No,
replay. He's the only one that doesn't get involved on the Canucks.
the clip of Wes McCulling going everyone else on the ice minor penalty hilarious. So you're gonna
Oh
see that in
yeah.
compilations at the end of the year.
Oh
That's
yeah,
amazing.
it's like the was it was last season, right? Or was it this year when it was the Panthers Sens game? And it was like 5 minutes each or 10-minute miss. Oh, everybody on the ice gets a 10-minute
Yeah,
misconduct. I can't remember if that was this year or
I think it might have been last year, but no,
yeah.
I mean like ref moments like that are great. For like compilations, I mean like wow, that's interesting, but like man, as a league, like
Oh, it's
like
embarrassing.
I mean this is their number one referee, right? Like that like this is how they want their games to be refereed. Like this is how they want their games to be officiated, and I just I absolutely loathe it. I absolutely loathe it. I just can't stand it.
Yeah. I was only halfway through the penalties and then I got sidetracked talking about Elias
See
Pettersson.
exactly right.
Evan Bouchard slashing against Tyler Myers, Matthias Ekholm roughing against Connor Garland, Leon Draisaitl roughing against Elias Pettersson, Derek Forbert roughing against Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, JT Miller roughing against Zach Hyman, Tyler Myers match penalty against Evan Bouchard. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yep.
12 because there's 5 players on the ice. Everyone got minors plus the match penalties for McDavid and Myers. Which I mean,
Yeah.
when you said 2 games each, I'm like thinking, I can't remember. Has Tyler Myers gotten suspended
Oh
before?
yeah. I'm not sure if he has. I mean, if there's prior history, for Tyler Myers, then there would be. But I would expect 2 games. Considering like this, from the NHL's perspective, the same play in the playoffs is 1 game. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I think.
because like the president was Matthews did the cross check a couple years ago on Darlene.
Yeah,
That was 2 games. I'm wondering.
yeah. See, there
I
you go.
feel like does McDavid still get the 2 games? Do you
Yeah,
think?
no, I think they both get. I think they both get 2 games. I don't think there's any reason why they wouldn't. They were both kind of like out of nowhere. Like just shots to the face, right? Can't do that.
Oh my gosh. So Myers has been suspended before. Um, on March 13th, 2012, Myers was suspended for 3 games for boarding Montreal Canadiens forward Scott Gomez.
Okay, so
Um,
he might get more. So he might get
yeah,
more.
but that was also
Um.
2012, and that was the only suspension
Oh
he's
wow,
had.
dude, he's been in the
And
year. I forget he's been in the league that long.
oh,
He won a Calder.
he won a Calder. He was drafted in
Dude,
08.
he's been in the league forever, dude.
Yeah, everyone else on the ice gets a minor. Yeah. Um, yeah, so he was suspended in March 2012. I was in the 4th grade. The last time he got
Yeah.
suspended, I'm in my last semester of university, to be fair.
That's crazy.
To be
Yeah,
fair.
spin the wheel of random punishment. Like literally, like who like actually who knows? It could be 2 games each. It could be 1 game for McDavid, 3 for Myers. It could be like 5 and 5. Like we literally have no idea.
You could just get
Because
Bertuzzi.
Colin Campbell is a hack, an absolute hack.
Oh, yeah. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. What? it was also he was in the same class as Jeremy Roenick too, right? Like he also just got inducted. Am I missing
Yeah,
that?
I'm pretty sure. I think so.
Yeah, I think we can just write off that class. If his
Yeah.
last suspension was 2012, it won't count as history. Thank you, Nick, in the chat. Um, Tyler Myers will return after his suspension, get a hat trick. Mark my words. Okay, let's say it's two
That'd be crazy.
games. Let's say it's 2 games. I am gonna check Canucks schedule. 2 games. 1, 2. He'd be returning next Saturday against the Capitals if he gets the 2 games. If he gets 1 game, the next game is against the Oilers in Edmonton.
Oh my god, yeah, that's true.
If he gets no games, the next game is against his former team in the Sabres. So any Tyler got suspended. Look up the
He's gonna
hit.
be.
He's probably gonna be suspended.
It's an automatic hearing for both of them.
Okay. Oh yeah,
I
bench
highly
penalty.
doubt they'll be in-person hearings, but yeah. Um,
Yeah. Connor McDavid returns against the Sabres for a 1 p.m. game if he gets the 2 games.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be the one getting the hat trick, to be fair. Um, but yeah, he's only gotten. Sorry, I think it's so funny. Myers was suspended for 3 games for boarding Scott Gomez. Scott Gomez is coaching in the BCHL right now. So, does Tyler Myers have a hat trick? I don't
Does he?
actually
No,
know.
I think the most he scored. I mean, I highly doubt it. The most he scored in the season is 11 goals in his rookie year.
Yeah, but like,
But
there's
I
a
mean, if they
chance.
get like 1 game suspensions, if they get 1 game suspensions, that means they're back for the Canucks Oilers, which means there's no way they're gonna get 1 game suspensions. It's gonna be 2 games.
Oh,
Because there's just no way that McDavid or Myers plays in the Canucks rematch on Thursday. Which I mean is the right call, but also sucks because man, that would be an amazing game.
that
Can
would
you
be
imagine the
so
drama for
funny.
that?
That would be so
But no,
funny.
that game's gonna be crazy. That game's already gonna be crazy. So I mean, it's the right call to suspend them both for 2 games so that they're not there. But I'm really excited. That's gonna be a lot of fun
Penalty
for both
minutes.
sides.
Penalty minutes. 23 for the Oilers, 19 for the Canucks.
Yeah,
It's
mostly all in that
so
one. I love high
so
penalty
great.
minutes.
It's yeah. I do beer league games with less. This is
That's crazy.
it's amazing. I mean, it's not amazing, but also today is the 11-year anniversary of the reason that there's a wall between the visiting and home dressing rooms at Rogers Arena because it was today in 2014 when John Tortorella decided to have Kevin Bieksa take the opening faceoff against the Calgary
Wait.
Flames.
Oh my god, I remember that.
That was that game. Yep.
I remember that.
Scott Gomez is a name I
Um,
haven't heard in years. I worked with him last year, so I've heard that name before, but yes.
that's amazing. I actually remember the next day in school. I had a substitute teacher who didn't really watch hockey, and she was like, I'm like, she was like disgusted at the display from the Canucks and the Flames. She's like, I cannot believe that this is like a sport that everyone in this country cares about. It was amazing. It was absolutely glorious.
I think that was probably the only good thing that John Tortorella did for the Canucks. Because, like, everything else about that year sucked. The Luongo trade, I mean, like
Yeah.
just the Luongo deal, I mean, I get it. It eventually worked out for both sides, but it still hurt my feelings. Like, um, once every 10, 11 years, we get coach on coach violence in the NHL. Will we get it again in 2024, 25? We were close. We were close tonight. I mean, maybe not
I mean,
this
I
game.
think we would if it's gonna happen. I think we would see Rick talk it like duke it out with someone.
Oh yeah,
I think he'd be a good candidate.
I
Chris Knobloch though, he's like a stone.
oh yeah,
He
no,
doesn't
I
care
was
at
like,
all.
I
Like he's just
was
sitting there like
I love his energy because his vibe is just like chilling. Honestly, I
yeah.
think he should have won the Jack Adams last year, but that's my
I do
opinion.
too, but you know the Jack Adams is not for best coach. The Jack Adams is for wow, you were way better than we thought you would. Let's give it to the coach. That's why the Jack Adams award winner never sticks around because um the most improved team sometimes it's kind of a fluke. Sometimes teams will regress.
Yeah, he shouldn't
And then the
stick
coach is
around.
on a short leaf.
Yeah, Um, I want who's the base coaches I want to see Martin St. Louis go up against them. That would be amazing. I thought it was going to be Sacco and Green today in the Bruins Sens game. That was an absolute insane matchup. Um,
Yeah.
if you didn't watch it this afternoon, I had to leave the house unfortunately with 5 minutes to go in the third period, and the Bruins were up 5-3, and then the Sens win it in a shootout 6-5. So I don't
They
know.
win that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. the the Bruins had just made it 5-3, and I was like, okay, I gotta go now. Talkett looks defeated this year, to be honest. Yeah, yeah. George
Yeah.
McPhee and Coach Battle Royale, since he's knocked out a coach before post game. Talk
Yeah,
versus
that'd be sick.
Torts. We don't
I
play
mean, yeah,
Philly
talk for
again
sports
this year.
is great. Oh, really? That
That's
sucks.
that's sad.
They gotta make the playoffs then.
To the finals? We're not even in a
Canucks, Philly.
spot. I don't even think Philly's in a spot.
I mean,
Philly
the wild card in
is
both leagues are in
oh
both
okay.
conferences are a mess right now. So
Yeah, they're 2 points out of a wild card spot behind the Sens.
yeah,
But the Sens have games at hand. The Canucks also are 1 point back of the Flames for a wild card spot. So yay! Um, that feels so great. Um, yeah, I do think unfortunately we're not getting a Myers versus McDavid matchup, which is so funny because it's not like Myers. I mean, Myers gets his penalties. Myers does his Myers things, but he doesn't fight a lot. Like
no,
for a man that
and,
size, it's
and
hard to
that
find equal competition.
yeah, and on Thursday that will be like the last matchup of the year for the Oilers Canucks.
Oh,
So
right.
we would only see each other in a hypothetical playoff after that. Um,
Mm-hmm. That sucks though, because like they had such a good thing going last year. Totally not saying that because the um because the Canucks had the season series and totally running off of that. Um JT Miller got third star for that game.
yeah,
Good for him. Win what could be his last game as a Canuck. We'll see. We'll be talking about that. Oh my God! It was the reffing 1-2 of Wes McCauley and Chris Lee.
oh yeah, it was Chris Lee. I was trying to remember earlier when I was talking, what the who the second ref was. Just a gong show, really. It was an absolute gong show.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. That makes
Yep.
so much sense.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll be talking storylines heading into this game, but before we do that, if you're enjoying the show so far, you probably want more of this, right? Well, make sure you hit the like button on this video, click subscribe on our channel, and make sure you check the notification bell so you're alerted when we go live. If you're listening to our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating or even write a positive review. If you really like us, make sure to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. You can find the Game Over Network on Blue Sky at thegameovernetwork.com, on TikTok and Twitter at GameOverNHL, on Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn at Game Over Network. You can also find me on Instagram at kaya.may, Kaya with a J. Ash, where can they find you on social media with stuffs that you like to use?
You can find me on Twitter at Ash Jubilee, and you can find me on Blue Sky at ashjubilee.bluesky.social.
Awesome. And you can also find us at thegameovernetwork.com where you can sign up for our upcoming newsletter. Um, alrighty. Let's get into. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. That's not the. I don't want that to be there. How do I turn that off? I am not. I decided to try studio mode for the first time on OBS. It is not agreeing with me. I don't think I'm doing this right. Anyway, storylines headed into this game. JT Miller was supposed to be traded today. Apparently. That was the word on the street. That was the word according to. Oh, he had to do post game interviews too. Let's just. Wait. Okay, let me find the original post. Da 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 da. Da, da, da. Where is it? Okay, it was. I am losing my mind. Why are there so many notifications for this stuff? That's. No. Okay. Miller trade was close, according to Elliot Friedman.
Like a new one?
No, this was before this was before the game started. So this is 6:22, so game started around 7. Really started around 7. Um and probably started around 7:10, let's be honest, but this was 6:22, so 38 minutes before the game starts. From Elliot Friedman, Saturday headlines. Miller trade was close, but something happened and he will play. Does not elaborate on something. People asked if he vetoed. No, I don't believe that is issue. Good grammar. Some teams have permission to talk to him. Pedersen asks to stay. Personally, I think that there's more risk than reward for trading Pedersen. Yeah, because he's still reaching like the peaks of his career at a point. Whereas Miller is kind of at the age when you start to regress unless you're like freaking Sidney Crosby. But like Miller's headed towards the plateau part. Pedersen is still building up, so I feel like since they're both signed long term, I feel like there's more risk to keep Miller over Pedersen. Please
No, I
get
totally agree.
Where's Miller going? Rangers, Devils were reported. I mean, that would be with the Rangers. I mean, I can't escape JT Miller, I guess. That would be fine. I know him and Trocheck's wives are friends. His and Trocheck's wives are friends. Not JT Miller is friends with Trocheck's wife. I mean, he might be. I don't know. Yeah. JT Miller for Chris Kreider when? I do not want to split up the Chris Kreider Mika Zibanejad duo.
That
Please.
would be a as an Oilers fan, I love that trade. Please trade JT Miller for Chris Kreider. That's a wonderful trade. Please do that. That would make me very happy.
No.
But that's a terrible trade.
No.
That is terrible.
That's a winger too. Like it makes more sense to take Zibanejad, but also Zibanejad
Which is
and
also
Miller.
terrible.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, love Mika Zibanejad. Not the same level of player, essentially. You would yeah. Apparently traded dude. I grew up in the 90s when Pavel Bure wanted out of cried about a trade. Yeah, I didn't, but I grew up in the era of my contract sucks press conferences. So shout out Roberto Luongo for that one. Thoughts on Nick Robertson and Morgan Riley for JT Miller. That is horrific.
That's bad. That's a bad trade.
That's a bad
trade.
That's a bad trade. That's like don't like
That's a bad trade for both teams.
Like I
Like neither team would want that trade. Like literally, neither team would take that.
The Leafs don't need another forward. They have a lot of forwards. They don't need another center. They have that. They have their top centers. They don't. And Morgan Riley is like, yeah, sure, he hasn't been scoring at the same pace as before, but like, he's probably their best defenseman. He is their best.
Yeah, he's still the
defenseman.
number one defenseman.
Yeah,
right?
like you're not. That's like if the Canucks traded Quinn Hughes for like, I don't know, JJ Paterka and Alex Tuck. Like I've just picked two players off the Sabres. I don't think that makes sense. But also Robertson for Morgan Riley does not make sense. Robertson and Morgan Riley for Miller does not make sense. Nylander for Miller, expensive contract. Would love to have him as a Canuck though.
I mean, that's a Canuck trade. Like I mean, if you're the Canucks and you take that trade all day long, but you're not. Like, there's no shot that like JT Miller and Nylander are going to be on the same level. I would not make that trade from the Maple
Oh
Leafs.
no, that's
Obviously,
they're not the same level, not
no.
whatsoever. Like even though there's only 3 years difference between them, which sounds insane. Miller was Yeah, no. Miller was a 2011 pick. Nylander's 2014 pick. And I know he was 2014 because the Canucks could have drafted him and they didn't. Also, Nylander's contract is a bit more expensive and pricey and longer term than JT's. I would take that trade in a heartbeat, but I don't think Brad True-Living would want me to see sunlight ever again if that happened. That's a joke. Kay wants Nick Robertson out of her division. Sorry. Doesn't look like that's happening unless he goes to rival the Hughes brothers in Dallas to play with Jason. But, sometimes it's good to separate them. At all the Devils fans that desperately want Quinn Hughes to go there, please, no, just stop. Like,
It's not happening.
I'm the
Unfortunately, it would be
I
really good for you. It's not happening.
it would be good, but also I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. There's a reason I don't live with them. Like I understand, like I love them, but to a point. Um, I'm pretty sure this is about JT Miller. Avery says they will stuff him into a trash can in that Rangers room if he returns. Because yeah,
Oh, 100%.
Miller was
They
drafted as
totally
a
will.
Ranger, was sent with Ryan McDonough. People always forget the trade too. Because Ryan McDonough was the Rangers captain and they just continued that trend of trading their captain. Continued it to this year. Yeah, he was sent with Ryan McDonough to Tampa, and then Tampa, both teams lose. Perfect trade. Zach from Game Over Toronto, how can I cook up a Canucks Rangers trade that makes Kaja the most miserable? I was about to say Brock Besser. Yeah, taking Brock Besser out of Vancouver would destroy me. I think that he should be a Canuck for life. Miller for Miller. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. JT Miller for Keandre Miller. That could be cool, but I
I
think
do
that
like Keandre Miller. I do like
yeah,
Keandre Miller a lot, actually.
and we do need another defenseman that can move a puck. Considering we still stuck Brandstrom in the AHL for some reason.
I picked up Liljegren.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick him up too. I'm actually like really sad about that.
Lil
That he's in San
Jagrin.
Jose. Liljegren?
Lil
Oh yeah,
Jagrin.
he wanted his name to be pronounced differently. Yeah, I really
Yes.
wanted the Oilers to pick up Liljegren. Fortunately, no. We got John Klingberg instead.
Which
Who I mean,
is
it's very low risk, and it doesn't really interfere with the Oilers' trade deadline at all.
what was
But
his contract signed at?
cap hit at 1.7
Oh, okay.
just for the year.
Okay, that's yeah. And I mean other mid-season acquisitions have worked out over the last couple years. I mean Corey Perry's still on the roster after he was let go
Yeah,
by Chicago. Unknown reasons why. Then there's the Evander Kane San Jose situation that happened. Evander Kane obviously not in the lineup yet this season. But yeah, PD to the Rangers probably gets the Kaya scream. Yeah. Yeah. Riley is the Leafs' third best right now. Tanev and McCabe clear by miles this season. Can we have Tanev? Tanev and
I'm happy
Nylander
to
for
see Jake
JT
McCabe is
Miller?
playing well.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
like him a lot, and I was really happy when the Leafs picked him up. Really happy to see him playing better.
Yeah, he's
I don't
he's
think the
been pretty
Canucks
good.
win any trade. Yeah, I don't think the Canucks win any trade that send PD or JT out of town. I mean, at the end of the day, that's just the truth, right? Like, there's no shot that like the Canucks are winning any trade right now that they make with JT or Pedersen, despite all this talk about this beef or this or that. I mean, you're bargaining at your lowest, and like you're trading like a high part of your core for what? For like legitimately for what? Like that's
Damn
what
it.
I need to understand. For what?
Uh, because Mean Girls. Sorry, Tanev is a 7-year deal. I completely missed that. What?
Oh yeah, he has a 7-year deal.
I thought he signed to like a 3-year.
Nope.
Oh my lord. Oh no. That okay, that's fine then. I mean, Chris Tanev, love you. Oh my, wow, that's a big deal. Miller, Demko, Vilander, 2 firsts for Jack, Luke, and Natchez. Uh, Is Natchez not on the Canes? That's a 3-team trade. Like, and I don't want Jack or Luke Hughes. I don't think I don't think we need them, to be honest. We have a Hughes. That's fine. Welcome to my hell. The least defense is all side until they're like 85. The only
Don't
defenseman
worry,
we have.
Cristiano will not play the second half of that contract. Do not worry. But you already know that.
Yeah, he's gonna be Canuck.
He's gonna be Canuck. He's LTIR Canuck.
Yay! No, he's gonna get bought out. We're gonna get him back, and they can keep OEL. That was our trade, buyout for buyout. I'm sorry. Um, Brandstrom almost cost the Abbey Canucks the game tonight with a couple bad penalties. Okay, fair. He's not the best offensively, but he is pretty good offensively. Yeah, also apparently Hartford, the Rangers affiliate, had a few healthy scratches tonight. I did not understand why that was related to the Canucks, but I understand now. Why are we getting prospects though? Like I don't understand that. If we're kind of in the win now mode that we were supposed to be in, I understand people want to sell, but that makes no sense if we're still on the cusp of a playoff spot. Why would we want to be going for prospects after shipping off one of our most valuable players? Anyway, before I get into any more brain rot soup stuff, Ash, would you like to talk about the ridiculous Oilers road trip that they just got back off? They're just getting off of now.
Yeah. So the Oilers just had an absolutely wild road trip. Last week they were like way out of the division lead. It looked like the Oilers and the Kings were fighting for that second and third playoff spot once again, 4 years in a row. But the Oilers, who had to go from California to back to Edmonton to Boston to Pittsburgh to Chicago, back to Edmonton to Minnesota to Colorado, now to Vancouver, then back home, all 4 time zones in like a 2-week span. They went 7-1, and the one that they lost, they went down 5-1 to Pittsburgh. Sound familiar? And they almost won. They literally they did. They almost won that game 5-3. Another Oilers are tied for first in the division. They're tied for first in the division. They could have been first in the division if they won tonight, but they're tied now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and they
Um,
didn't even get a point tonight,
they
but
didn't even get a
still
point
tied.
now, but
Still tied for
they're
Vegas,
still
which
tied.
is insane because I also started the season in the bottom 5 and I remember making memes about it. Um, and now they're here.
What, just like last year?
Oh, yeah, just like last year, I was like, okay, so are they getting McDavid's Pee-wee coach? Like, that was the joke. And then the
Yeah,
Oilers just remembered that, oh, right, we're the Edmonton Oilers. And they remembered to
there
be
was
good.
a oh my god, there was a quote. I think it was from Vladimir Podkolzin. He was doing an interview in Russian, talking with someone, and he was getting concerned because he was like, like maybe it's like the cup hangover, like final playoff, like maybe like it was that was just like so hard on this team, but like everybody around him was like no, like none of them were concerned at all. Like I think it was Draisaitl or McDavid or one of them was just like, yeah, I mean, like we always start slow, like we always suck at the beginning of the season to worry about it, and now look at where they are playing very good hockey. And at the end of the road trip, I mean, a game like that, you kind of got to expect it. They were definitely not the better team. I mean, McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman and Bouchard and Ekholm, they tried, but I am so sick of this 2018 Oilers. I'm so sick of it. I'm just get it away from me, please, God. Just I would very much like for the rest of this team to start playing better.
Yeah, you kind of want to return to form for the rest of, like, you want Nuge to show up, Hyman to show up,
Yeah,
Nurse
yeah.
to not keep boarding people.
Dude,
Um,
I thought Nurse played terribly today. It's just
so
crazy because I
normal?
thought he's been
Sorry.
playing some really good hockey this year. No, I thought after Nurse got his injury from Ryan Reeves, it's actually been a thing. Nurse has been playing some very good hockey, if not the best hockey since his contract year. Playing with Kulak on the second line, but he was playing a lot with Josh Brown tonight, and they were terrible. They were terrible, and that second goal, it's really all him. He lose it. He gets beat. I think it's by um he gets beat, and he gets beat again. For who scored the second goal in front of the net? That's that's all literally all
Heinen.
him. Heinen, yeah, I thought Heinen played great today too as well. I thought he had a very good game. Um, I thought he
Langley
was all around the
legend.
puck. Yep, I thought I thought he had some really good bounces. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Not happy with the Oilers for this one, especially after we're going to be missing McDavid for two games, which honestly just means Draisaitl is going to score 7 goals in the next two.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I mean, if McDavid's not on the score sheet, Draisaitl usually is.
Yeah.
Um, how are you feeling about all the comebacks the Oilers have had to make recently? Generally positive they can do it, negative that they have to. What's your read on it from Kay?
Um, I don't know. There has been a lot. The Oilers have been spotting first period leads a lot. And it reminds me exactly of what the Oilers were like last year, spotting leads in the playoff series to Vancouver, to Dallas, to Florida, spotting these first period leads that they have to come back from all the time. It's like it's a habit they need to get out of if they actually want to, win the cup. They showed they can get there, with this being a part of their game, they can definitely score. They definitely have the goaltending. I thought Stuart Skinner made amazing stops in the first period to keep this game 3-0 on goals. I didn't even really think were his fault. But man, oh man, does this Oilers team needs to start scoring first. When they score first, they just almost always win the game. All of their losses come from when they're trailing. Literally, like all of them. They've only ever lost 3 games when they're not leading after the first. I don't know. They
I
they, they really got to grow out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know you can come back from that, but you also don't want to have all your wins be comeback wins because then it's just like, can we start the game well? That was the issue with the
Yep.
Canucks. They were not scoring the first goal like consistently, but they constantly were like coming back. So, oh, it was okay. Whereas now I feel like tonight they started well. It was probably their best first period of the season, to be fair.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it'll cause exhaustion if this becomes a thing in a playoff series. Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
definitely. Because especially for the Oilers, what are you doing when you're down? Playing McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Bouchard, Ekholm, like every second, every third shift, like anytime you can. You need to pace those guys for the playoffs. Draisaitl's been injured every single playoffs in a row because he's just that hard of a worker. He's like a barn out there on the ice. But like but that's because he plays so much minutes. He plays so hard. Like other players play very hard against him. It's really, really it is still concerning to see the Oilers still playing like this when we know that we have issues, especially when it comes to you look at that Florida game seven. You literally look at that Florida game seven and what happened in that third period. All the Oilers top guys were tired as hell because they had to play every second minute because you like we just could not play our like third line, our second pairing. It is really like so it does really suck to continually see this Oilers team front first period leads and have to come back all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of that's what happened to the Canucks in the second round against the Oilers too last year. I feel like
Yeah,
that's kind of like they ran out of gas and then when game 6 happened and they went down, was it 5-1? I've blocked that game out of my memory because it was just painful, but
yeah.
yeah, I remember watching that. The staff at Lumen Field put it on briefly on the Jumbotron um, in Seattle, so that was fun, but not fun because we were very down in the score sheet at the time. Before we get into the Q&A period here, I just wanted to let you know what better way to support something you love than by repping it on yourself. Game Over's there we go. Apparel line has dropped with 3 unique designs. Whether you feel the nostalgic pull of our retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design, want to wear your love for the goalies proudly with our live and die by the goalie design, Or if you just need another coffee and toque to get through the winter, we have you covered. Designed by Brady Chalis from Game Over Winnipeg, use the QR code on stream now and take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. All right. Q&A, put your questions in the chat. Could be about anything.
How's Colson been?
Yes,
Mark
yeah.
asks. I mean, he's been wonderful. I mean, he's not like the absolute scoring winger that Draisaitl needs, like Dylan Holloway, but I think he's been great. He's consistently held that second line position with Draisaitl tonight. I mean, that first period, him, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, that line was playing very, very poorly. Like a lot of the Oilers, not named McDavid, Draisaitl, but that line specifically, which is kind of why it had to be broken up. I thought he had a better third period when he was playing with Nuge. And it was him, Arvidsson, Nuge. But I think Podkolzin's definitely been a really good addition. Really, really happy to see. Given that he's the youngest Oilers forward on this team at 24, the second youngest being McDavid. Oh man, I just miss Dylan Holloway, dude. I literally just miss that guy so much.
Sorry, the second youngest forward is McDavid?
Yeah, at 28.
Oh, wow. That's bad.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that. Wow. Oh yeah, Holloway. Yeah, that was an interesting summer, wasn't it? What is the most you would be willing to part with in order to dump Nurse's contract from Zach?
I don't think you need to dump Nurse's contract. Is the thing is that you know that he can play well when he gets a right-handed defenseman, or just a pairing that can play well. Yeah, you don't want your $9 million defenseman to have a partner to play well. But I mean, Cody Ceci is probably the worst defenseman in the league this year. And so obviously he's not going to succeed with that. Josh Brown was literally the worst player in the NHL for the last 3 years. So obviously he's not going to succeed tonight playing with him. But in terms of what I'd want to part, I mean, I don't know. Like, it really depends. Like, I would only trade him if we can get if we have a free agent signing or an actual second pairing D. Or, like when Nurse is playing good, he does play very, very well. You just need to not have a literal actual anchor next to him.
Sorry, Josh Brown was a minus 18 last year. Or no, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
sorry. He was a +2 last year with the Arizona Coyotes. But it's really funny. I liked how you said Cody Ceci's the worst defenseman in the league this year. Yeah, he's on San Jose. Not exactly a high bar, to be fair.
No.
Apologies to San Jose, but your team's just not good, man.
They're very exciting though with Celebrini and Will Smith. Watching their games is very fun, even if they don't win.
They're gonna destroy us in a few years. Like, just you wait. But yeah, it is very fun to watch. Supposedly there's a chance, just incredible, supposedly there was a chance Miller would have been scratched tonight because the Rangers had a deal in place. Heard it could have been Lafreniere and Schneider going to Van. Deal fell through last minute. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that because, I mean, one, I'm pretty sure they both played tonight. McDavid was Mark's age. Vinny Desharnais would like a word. Sorry, wait, I was scrolled up that whole time. Sorry. Draisaitl versus Hughes versus Hellebuck for Hart. I mean, you're gonna pick Draisaitl. I'm picking Hughes. Hellebuck's probably gonna win. No, I'm just kidding. But the last.
Okay, I think Hellebuck he probably has a very good argument. But unfortunately, I don't think he's in top 3 for me. I mean, I think the thing is with Draisaitl is that Draisaitl has taken such amazing steps in his defensive game on top of being like scoring at an unreal rate. He's a +28. That leads the league. That like quite literally leads the NHL in terms of plus minus. He's playing the best hockey of his career. He's playing it on a team with McDavid. And Draisaitl won a Hart before. He definitely can win. Voters definitely don't look at McDavid and think, oh, because you have McDavid on your team, you can't win anything. I mean, they might think that um in regards to like other things, but with Draisaitl, I think he is. If you look at the heart as the best player in the NHL, you have to give it to Draisaitl. If you look at the heart as this team would not exist without them, you have to give it to Quinn Hughes. I mean,
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes is but far and away the best defenseman in the league, and without Quinn Hughes, I'm sorry, Canucks fans, without Quinn Hughes, you guys are
Oh,
you guys are in such a terrible spot. Yeah, I love that man. I really do love Quinn Hughes. He's amazing to watch. He's definitely the most valuable player to any team. But to me, I think the Hart is the best player in the league. I don't really like this like whole like most valuable player like calculus that people do. It's for the best player in the league, and that is Leon Draisaitl.
yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think we're foregoing Nathan McKinnon, but I have my own beef with him, so uh
Nick McKinnon's an empty net merchant. He's just like Draisaitl is better. He's
yeah,
an empty net.
no.
He has 12 of his points. Well, if we're looking at even strength points and power play points included, Leon Draisaitl still wins. He has like 12 empty net points when Leon Draisaitl has like one.
That's funny. Um I mean, Hellebuck winning would be insane. The last goalie to win the Hart is Price, I think. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I'm
I
correct
mean that
there.
makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah. Um Leon can't hit the net. Damn, he's
Yeah, I
just
don't
like
know if
Philip
you
Hronek.
there was I was at this game. I was at the LA Kings game when the Oilers won 1-0. Leon missed he didn't even shoot. He like passed on a wide open empty net. I think it was to McDavid. He's just like that. He's just such a nice guy, but it's also because he doesn't believe in empty net points because he knows those are for frauds like Nathan McKinnon.
Oh my
I'm an
gosh.
Avalanche hater. I am an
I
Avalanche hater. I'm a Kale McCarr hater as well. I'm
K is
sorry.
not going to like this, but we can get into that after the stream. Yeah, I I understand. Um, Leon can't hit the net. That's like Philip Hronek, except Philip Hronek can't win the Hart or really anything, to be honest. Let's be real here.
That's true.
If Lafreniere, I don't know about the Lafreniere. Lafreniere is a winger. Schneider's a right D, but he's not like cool. We need a right D man, but he's also not like a complete puck mover. I do like his game overall. Um, he's 2-9-11 in 45 games. He's +6 this year.
You still
45
lose
games.
that. I think you still lose that trade.
You
I
still
mean,
lose that trade even if they send like 15 first round picks all the way up until 2040. Like you're
okay,
still
well, I don't know, maybe. But
um
no, I mean,
yeah, and Lafreniere, who's a winger who's put up more points. He's definitely streaky. He's only at 25 within 45 games, 11 goals, 14 assists on the year, -12. So he has the same defensive prowess as JT Miller, but yeah, I do like both players. It's just I mean, Schneider can kill penalties, but like, do we want to right D on the penalty kill? Because we have Juleson for that kind of. I don't know.
and
I don't
also
know.
like if you're trading a star player, you have to get a star back.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not trading a star player for like parts that make up the sum of the whole. Like no, like that's not why you're trading it. Like that's exactly how you just get rid of a guy just to get rid of a guy, you know?
Yeah. That's yeah. You can't be doing that basically. Um to put it very, very simply. Uh
Who is the biggest disappointment in the NHL? I mean, Predators, but past that, because everybody knows it's the Predators, everyone understands it's the Predators.
that will
I
be the
don't
first to
know.
say in
It
shout that the
depends.
Canucks are nothing without Hughes. To me, it's the Canucks, but that's just because I've just grown so apathetic to how this team
Well,
has
I was
played.
gonna say, I think
Mm-hmm.
the Canucks. I think, especially coming off of last year, you were probably looking for some more long-term success, and like to see like the Calgary Flames in a playoff spot ahead of you. I mean, you both have the same. It's not even like the Flames are like a fraud team that are winning winning games they shouldn't. You both have the same goal differential. Like,
Girl, don't even get me
like
started.
right?
I,
Like I would definitely say the Canucks are up there after the Predators.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, and the Rangers, of course. But again,
Don't.
everybody knows how much of a tire fire is happening over there.
I mean, it's
Like,
also like the President's Trophy crash out
right?
that always happens after. I mean, the Bruins are still going through it, but yeah, there's that. Um, just know I'm in Dreisaitl's walls. That's from Kay. What Canuck do Oilers hate the most from Nothing is Perfect for Ash?
I mean, if you'd asked us last year, Zadorov would have been really high on that list. Um,
Yeah! The only time I'll ever like this Rorov.
I mean, I don't know. Connor Garland was always a menace last year, and I know that dislike for him has definitely risen in the hearts of Oilers fans after tonight. Um, so I'd probably say Garland. Um, and then I mean, probably as well as like Quinn Hughes in the same way that you hate like Connor McDavid, or you would hate like Leon Draisaitl, or you would hate like Austin Matthews, right? Because it's like, oh my god, that player is so good. I hate him. I really
Yeah.
do think Hughes is like wonderful. I could say like I know some people like look at like Myers and be like, oh, because like he's like a dirty player and stuff, but like the Oilers like usually play very very well against him, so you can't be
Mm-hmm.
mad about that.
Okay. You want to talk about dirty players? Let's get the conversation going on Darnell Nurse here. Anyway, that's
Oh, if you want to talk about dirty Oilers players, Leon Draisaitl.
oh
Like
Leon
he is
Draisaitl. Connor
dirty.
McDavid is getting.
Connor McDavid. I mean, Connor McDavid's gonna get 2 game suspension anyway, but like Leon Draisaitl, I think is like a very underrated dirty player.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
definitely.
Uh, so
I
is
love it.
Kale
I love
McCarr.
him. He's my favorite.
It's like the thing of you hate to play against them, but you'd love to have them on your team. People always say that about
Yeah,
Marchand, but it's also these good players that can get away with stuff.
yeah. What
Um,
about you? Like for cause like what Oiler do like Canucks fans hate the most?
I'd say Darnell Nurse. I mean,
Yeah, really?
if you go for like an overall thing from the fan base, I'd say Connor McDavid most likely, just because like he is the best player in the NHL. Draisaitl as well, but like I would say personally I do not like Darnell Nurse because I think he's a dirty player. Um
Yeah,
and like especially like along the boards and stuff. Draisaitl and McDavid, I appreciate their skill. I know the large portion of the fan base does not like either of them, especially McDavid after tonight. Because yeah,
yeah.
he got away with the chicken wing. He's probably not gonna get away with the cross check on Connor Garland's face. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I'd say as a collective, Canucks fans hate Connor McDavid. But he is the best player in the NHL currently. When are we gonna have a Game Over network among us? Soon. Um, Similar vein, biggest positive surprise. Washington
I mean, it's really the
Capitals.
Capitals, right?
Yeah.
Like easy, like 100%. Like duh. Like they have like over a 10 game point streak right now. Like they're crazy. Like who like literally who thought this? You see the Dom from the Athletic. You see his like graphic, and over the summer it was like cup windows, and it was like the Capitals were like in the absolute worst position where they were like you have to start a rebuild now. And they were like just like they were fading into irrelevancy. Now look where they are. I mean, breakout
It's
seasons from Dylan Strome, who could be an Oiler but isn't. Connor McCormick. I mean, even without Ovechkin, right?
Yeah, because
Like that team has been playing amazing.
he like what broke his leg and then came back like 2 weeks later. He's insane. Russian machine
Yeah.
never break. Um,
I mean, do you think he's gonna get the goal record this year? Probably.
Probably
I
it
mean,
would.
he
I will
could now.
throw a party. Um, I think yeah, I think Washington Capitals Carberry has to win the Jack Adams. Um,
Oh, totally.
yeah, it was really funny. This was, I think, the first time that Pierre-Luc Dubois has joined a team and that team has had success. So kudos.
That's true.
It's a joke. I never want to see Noah Juleson in a Canucks uniform again. He wasn't in one tonight. I will warn you about that. I mean, he's good on the penalty kill. Everything else he does makes me question if this is a bad dream or not.
That's Matthias Janmark. That literally is like Matthias Janmark for Oilers fans. Man, oh man, his penalty killing, it's great. It's really exciting. Him and Brown 2-on-1s for days. Oh god, I cannot watch him 5-on-5 anymore. Like it's gonna break my heart. It's gonna break my heart with Jeff Skinner out of the lineup. Oh, my heart can't take it.
Ash, what does it feel like to draft number 1 overall?
I will say it was pretty great as a kid. I started watching, right? I didn't watch, I was too young to watch the '06 Cup final, so I never had any memories of that. I started watching next year in '07 when I was like 4 years old. So all I knew was bad hockey. And then we would draft number 1 and we would be terrible and we would still be terrible. So it definitely feels pretty great to have those number 1 draft picks turn into something. I will not lie.
Yeah, that must be nice. The Canucks have quite literally never had, even in the expansion draft, Buffalo got it after they rigged the coin toss. That's another story for another time. But yeah, it's really funny how you're just like, oh yeah, I only remember bad hockey, whereas like my reverse was growing up with the Sedins, so I only remembered good
Yeah.
hockey. So the previous decade just sucked. No coincidence that Juleson's out and we hold the Oilers to 15 shots. I mean, it's also the Oilers at the tail end of a really long road trip, really oddly shapen road trip. I mean, I'm not gonna like say the Oilers deserve to have a bad game. I'm not, but I'm also not saying that keeping Noah Juleson out of the lineup was the main reason that the Oilers were held to 15 shots. Zach says the Capitals winning in spite of having PLD on the roster is low-key more impressive than winning a cup.
I mean, he's definitely taken a step forward this year, no? Like he's definitely playing well.
Yeah.
In a way that he didn't when he said he was gonna go to a new place and play well the last 3 times. So, I mean, it is good to see. Like, good for him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's
Had to
funny.
beat the Capitals though.
It's so funny that it worked out that way too, because him and Line, obviously the 1-for-1 trade, they both go to different teams again, and they're both having great seasons with those teams. It's just it's wild to me. Obviously, Line with the Habs and PLD with the Capitals. Um, Apparently, I didn't get to watch the Dan Cloutier saga. Starting goalie Alex Auld. I mean, I was alive. I just wasn't conscious. I gained consciousness later on, and I remember some parts of growing up. The front page of the newspaper the day I was born was about a Canucks loss, so I feel like that set the tone of my life pretty well. It's yeah,
That's pretty funny.
it's like it's just that, and then it's something about Bush invading Iraq, something along those lines. But
I should look up like the Edmonton Journal for when I was born. It's actually like a good that's actually a good exercise.
I found it in a box unexpectedly. Um,
Yeah.
and I just pick it up and it's just Canucks winning streak comes to an end. And it's, yeah, December 4th, 2002. I'm like, great. Watch my first Canucks game 3 days after being born into this world, and it's been like that ever since. What else was I going to say? I was just about to say something. Oh yeah, Pierre-Luc Dubois. He he had both goals against the Canucks when we were playing Washington in Washington. He scored the first goal, the Canucks tied it, and then he got the OT winner. It was amazing. It was so great to have that happen. Anyway, Ash, do you have any final points for the night? After the Canucks defeat the Oilers 3-2, after a game that felt like it took 5 hours?
Well, we played the Capitals on Tuesday. Maybe a good reset, a good 3-day break.
Mm-hmm.
Two-day break before we play the best team in the league, the hottest team in the league. But it is at home for a uh 6-game homestand. Holy cow! Yeah, the Oilers deserve it though. Um, we're tied for the division lead. Draisaitl gets 2 more goals. Simmons himself is still the Hart favorite. Yeah, McDavid will be out 2 games. Man, oh man, that last 3 minutes is definitely very aggravating as an Oilers fan. Especially just watching Garland. They literally just let him do that. They literally just let him do that to the best player in the league in the last few minutes. Oh my god! But I
Ray
mean,
Ferraro said he deserved 2 or 3 penalties on that, and I
he
think
did.
that's
He actually did.
hilarious.
Like he literally did. That was crazy. That was a great Ray Ferraro moment. But I mean, can't win them all.
Yeah.
Excited for the Thursday game. If this is a playoff series, it's gonna be wild again. I hope that it's not like a first round or a second round if that is the case, because man,
I
you're
mean,
just gonna injure the hell out of us, and I really don't want that to happen.
if unless the Canucks are a wild card, or if the Oilers end up a wild card, which I don't see happening, um, then we would only in that
I mean, even round
scenario.
2 is still rough. I mean, Oilers could win
Yeah.
division. You'll probably be a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, if we get into a wild card spot, which I mean it looks like we would, um, I mean we could potentially meet in the conference finals, but that's like a big if. Um, yeah. The Canucks play next at home again against Buffalo. Buffalo, the team that has not won a playoff series since when was the Wii U released? All right, the Buffalo Sabres are now 3 Nintendo systems away from the last time they got into the playoffs. Because Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out. So the
Bless their soul. Bless
Wii
their soul,
the
Buffalo. You do not
Wii
deserve it.
the
Beat the
Wii
Chiefs
U
next week. Get their ass.
okay, that's a different sport. Um different wrong. Go Chiefs, just kidding. Just kidding. Please don't hate me. I don't follow football that much. I just know my grandpa likes the Chiefs. So yeah. Anyway, how excited were you when Todd got called a timeout? I think we should plan the parade every time he does that because I think he just forgets that he can do that as a coach. Um, favorite new measurement of time just dropped. Yeah,
That is a good measurement of time.
it's getting some use. It's getting some use for me. All right. I think it's time to call an end to the show tonight. Clip it. Thank you very much for joining me, Ash. Where can the rest of Game Over Vancouver find you and the Game Over Edmonton crew?
You can all find me at Ash Jubilee on Twitter or ashjubilee.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. And you can also catch me Tuesday after the game, 9:45 Mountain Standard Time, for the Oilers post game against the Capitals. First game back from the road trip without Connor McDavid. I hope to see you there. Come say hi. Come say hello.
Yeah, definitely check out Game Over Edmonton. Very entertaining, and yeah, I like how you are already accepted that McDavid's getting suspended when they could
Oh,
just
I mean,
completely
100%
let it go.
automatic hearing, right? Like, no shot.
I automatic here, but he's Connor McDavid. Just kidding. That can only go so far. Um, yeah, I would say. I would say probably. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, we're ending the show. Um, I'm so tired. It's 11:20. Yeah, I'm sorry for saying go Chiefs, Zach. R.I.P. the Detroit Lions. Um, but yeah, thank you for joining me on Game Over Vancouver tonight, Ash. It was really fun. Getting to
It was really
talk
fun to be
about
here. Thank you.
no worries, getting to talk about this honestly banger of a Canucks game, banger of an
It was.
Oilers game, banger of a final 3 seconds that felt like so long because refs don't know how to look at iPads properly. I have been Kaja Antic. You can find me at Kaja May on basically everything except for Twitter. I don't use that. Um, that's it for tonight. Subscribe, rate, review, like the stream. Kai forgot the ending segment. Oh, I've done that so many times this year. I don't know what is up right now. Thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. Hope to catch you later this week. Mark is doing the show on Tuesday after the Canucks play Buffalo, so be sure to catch that at 9:45 Pacific Standard Time. And hope to see you around again soon. Adios, everybody.